To say that January is a busy month in the fitness industry is to also state that I have a keen eye for the blatantly obvious. The fact that the number 2 New Year's resolution is getting in shape doesn't escape anybody's attention, and it's a tool that many of us use. I use it every single year to set goals for either my own fitness or my qualifications for Team USA, and I'm sure that many of you do the same thing. The challenge is, where do we stand at the end of January? That is, how are we doing with our New Year's resolutions? And more importantly, how do we continue them or reinvigorate our New Year's resolutions today on the Personal Edge Fitness Podcast?
Welcome to the Personal Edge Fitness Podcast
with Garrett Williamson.
Health, wellness, exercise, nutrition, and a whole lot more. Got questions? Call us and leave a message at 251-278-EDGE or message us at Personal Edge Fitness on Facebook and Instagram, at Team PE on Twitter, or personaledgefitness.com.
Good day and welcome to the Personal Edge Fitness Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us today to talk about a very popular topic this time of year, but one that I would like to be popular throughout the year, and that is, of course, New Year's resolutions regarding fitness. Before I get into this topic, we're going to talk about today, which is not only assessing where you are, but possibly reinvigorating those New Year's resolutions. I want to make sure you know how to get in touch with the show, especially if you have any questions on this subject or any of our others, or, as always, a question about dispelling the myths of health, fitness, and wellness, which is the whole reason we have this podcast. Get in touch with us. You can contact us at area code 251-278-3343, 251-278-EDGE. You can also reach out to me at Garrett, Garrett, at personaledgefitness.com. That's my email address. Personaledgefitness.com is our website. A lot of people contact us that way. And of course, Personal Edge Fitness is our Facebook page. Hit me up on Twitter at TeamPE if you'd rather reach out that way. Also, just one more way to contact us, especially with the segment that we did a couple of podcasts ago, and that is Ask Katie. We had a lot of feedback from that, and which I was glad to hear. So if you have any questions dealing with fitness, simple short questions about fitness, and then you want Katie to address that on her regular segment, you can contact her at Katie, Katie, at personaledgefitness.com, or you can drop off a question here at our Mobile location or our East Shore location off of Highway 181. New Year's resolutions. Yeah, of course we like them in the fitness industry. A lot of people like to kick off the new year starting another attack at their fitness, and that does have a surge in our membership, obviously, with people wanting to attack those New Year's resolutions. But we spend more time probably emphasizing the latter part of the month and actually be into February on, hey, where are you? How are you doing with your New Year's resolutions? And have you given up on them? Are you doing good with them? Or where do you stand with them? Do you need help making sure those continue? Because we don't have to just do this in January. We can basically start this at any time, but if you find that you've tripped a little bit, no problem. We're going to talk today about how to get those going again or get back on track. So it is the number 2 most popular New Year's resolution, that is getting in shape. Number 1 is getting organized, and I think those two actually go hand in hand. I've had the pleasure of racing for Team USA for my 9th time just a month or so ago. So coming out of racing in Abu Dhabi and grading my performance and looking at national championships coming up again in May to try to qualify for 2024 team, I have got my own resolutions that I started in January. I'm proud to say that even though I had a little bout of a cold and one slight injury, I've pretty well maintained and pretty well stuck with my New Year's resolutions. I'm proud of that. And we've had a lot of clients do the same. We've had some that have slipped in same challenges that everybody else have. But I'm going to give you 5 points here today addressing, all right, how do I handle that New Year's resolution? How do I make sure it's effective? Well, first, let's assess. That's the first thing we should do, is look at if you've made a fitness resolution for the new year, let's assess where you are. I don't know if you heard my podcast that I did right around Thanksgiving, was talking about setting up a New Year's resolution, how to get ready, how to get going for it. If you took those steps of doing the work ahead of time, instead of just saying, okay, I'm going to get in shape. Well, that's great, but there's no plan there. You've got steps, you've got a plan. How are you going to get in shape? What methods are you going to use to get in shape? How are you going to measure whether or not you're in shape? What's going to be your schedule? What's your lifestyle going to look like if you're trying to make a lifestyle change? If you've done that, then let's look back and let's assess, all right, how have you done with each one of those and what problems are we running into? Even if you haven't done that, fine. It's great time to take stock now on where do you stand as far as your New Year's resolutions are concerned. Too many times we set a goal of making a change, but we don't put a timeline with that. We don't put a plan in place. A goal without a timeline is a dream. You're not going to reach your destination if you don't know how you're going to get there, how will you know when you get there, and what's your time to get there. Don't feel bad, though. Please don't feel bad if you've stumbled on your New Year's resolutions. This is very common. Most of us do it. That's understandable. But just like we do when we have a client come in and start a program with us, we talk about a game plan at the very beginning. Each client is associated with a client coordinator, and that client coordinator is in charge of their protocol. So in our initial consultation, we'll take down their goals, challenges that they have, any limitations they may have, what they like, what they don't like. And then we start looking at schedules, everything from how many days a week to what time on which days of the week are going to be effective. But we are constantly reassessing that plan. I mean, we're good at what we do. I've been doing this myself for 31 years. We've been in business for 23 years. I have the most qualified staff in the Southeast. We have an impeccable record, which makes us the number one personal training facility in the Southeast. So you can imagine that our consults are pretty darn effective. But at that time, I wish we had all the answers. We don't always have all the answers. And the reason being is because the person that we're working with is most likely making some sort of a lifestyle change. And therefore, either they've never been this person they're about to become, or they're taking some time to get back to being that person they once were. Because they've either never done this before or they've gotten out of the practice, well, that means that they've gone through some sort of a lifestyle change. If you were active beforehand and very good with your fitness and in great shape and whatever, and then all of a sudden you quote unquote got out of shape, most likely you had a lifestyle change. And so we're having to go back to changing that lifestyle again. And in doing so, we can sit down in an initial consultation and think, I think that Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 o'clock, according to what I believe right now, I think that's going to work. Now, you haven't really lived that. You don't know that until you start doing Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 o'clock. You may find out after a week or two that, that 9 o'clock idea, that's just not really a good time for you. Either a schedule problem or you don't feel good at that time of the day or we're missing on a regular basis. And so here at Personal Edge, we actually reassess. Okay, wait a second. Is that time frame working out for you? Is that trainer schedule working out for you? Is this game plan working out for you? And the fact that you got it wrong in the first consultation, the first time you actually sat down and set up your New Year's resolutions, it's not a negative. I mean, it's not your fault. I mean, you're taking your best stab at the knowledge you have at that time to set up this program, set up this plan. And like I say, a quote by Robert Burns, best laid plans of mice and men. So we may have gotten it wrong at the very beginning. No problem. All we do then is we shift. Now we started to live this lifestyle. We started to practice this lifestyle. So we actually go back and, like I say, number one, assess. Where are we? Are those lofty goals that we set at the beginning of the year, is it actually happening? Are we running 3 times a week? Are we lifting 3 times a week? Are we exercising most days? Whatever your game plan was, is it happening? And if it's not, don't take the bat to yourself. Seriously, don't beat yourself up about it. That is the common thing that most people do, is they go in and if they haven't been incredibly successful in those first 2 or 3 weeks with their New Year's resolutions, a lot of times they feel bad about themselves and therefore just kind of throw it aside. Evidently, I failed again. I'll try again next year. Don't do that. Where you should pat yourself on the back is if you actually do take the time to assess. Don't beat yourself up. Write down what was right, what was wrong. Did the schedule work? Was the plan too big? Was it too small? Where am I? What can I make happen? And start making adjustments according to how your assessments come out. Now, we do that here with our clients and are open to do that with anybody. If you want us to help you look at a game plan on that, we'd be glad to help you assess your program, assess where you are, assess where you're having weaknesses and challenges. And since we have so much experience in a variety of ways of working out, a variety of schedules, a variety of approaches, we'll be more than glad to help you get back on track to ultimately hit your goal. And in your assessment, your goal may have been too big. It may have been too small. The timeline that you put with it. I love to have lost 30 pounds in 30 days. But, if it's too big, no problem. Let's go back. Let's look at what has happened with your program so far. And let's find out, okay, well, it looks like that I wasn't able to work out and run 3 days a week and lift 2 days a week. I was only able to lift 2 days a week and run 1 day a week. Okay, well, then how are we going to get to our goal if we maintain that schedule? Because if that's more than you've done before, then we're moving in the right direction. So don't beat yourself up. Just reward yourself for actually taking on and going through this assessment. There's no value in beating yourself up, I promise you. Second thing is, and if you're not doing this already, you need to have some sort of measurement in place. Now, what I mean by that is that a lot of people, when they start their New Year's resolutions, the most common reason why people come to see us at Personal Edge Fitness, even though we're qualified to teach people to walk again and, gain athletic scholarships, 72% of our clientele come to us for general fitness, generally getting in shape and losing weight. And when it comes to that losing weight, a lot of people want to use a scale. I want to drop 30 pounds pounds, whatever the magic number is. Okay, that's one way of measuring. Yes, some people use body fat. That's another way of measuring. Some people will use a strength goal. I want to bench press my weight. I want to squat so much. I want to deadlift so much. And that may be motivational to you. And if it is, hey, fantastic measurement. Those aren't the only ways to measure, though. I mean, did I make it to the gym 3 days this week? Am I hitting my workout? Am I spending 30 minutes of cardio? Even if it's just, walking on the treadmill. If you've never done that before and you're just walking on the treadmill, but you're doing 15, 20, 30 minutes on a regular basis, that's another way of measuring. That end goal is what we really are after, but too many times we put the end goal as the only measurement. And instead, you want to celebrate small wins. Small wins bring you to that big victory. We've got to win those little battles. So you want to figure out what those battles are. If it is, and I'm just making up these numbers, but if it is a weight loss goal and it's 20 pounds, I want to lose 20 pounds in the next 2 months. Okay, then divide that down to how many pounds would you have to lose a week? And see if you're hitting your goal. And by the way, if you're not hitting your goal, let's say that comes down to 3 pounds a week, and you find out that you're only losing 2 pounds a week. Don't beat yourself up. You're going in the right direction. Look at the workouts. Well, you know what? I could easily make one more day of cardio. So maybe I could make that 3 pounds. Or if you can't, fine. Let's break it down to 2 pounds. If you're just losing 2 pounds a week, if you're losing 1 pound a week, just 1 pound a week. That's 52 pounds in a year. I mean, that's an incredible accomplishment. So be realistic in your assessments, but at the same time, have some way of measuring and be very realistic about your measurement. You want to create a goal, create a battle, create a incremental measurement that you can attain. And I don't mean set the bar low. I mean set the bar attainable. The ultimate goal may be very, very high. That's fine. But have those step-by-steps, because I tell you, mentally, that's going to work much better for you. Having those small victories gives you a reason, gives you that energy, gives you that positive reinforcement that you need to, I'm going to make my workout tomorrow. Look at this. I made that slight change. I made 3 days last week. That's great. I haven't done that before. Let's see if I can go 3 days this week. Or, I can string 2 weeks together where I'm doing 3 days. Or pick up a fourth day. Whatever that measurable, attainable, battle type goal, incremental step that works for your ultimate goal. And too many times I see very dedicated individuals that have made a change. I mean, if you're not going to a gym and you're not working out at all, and you showed up and you actually did a workout one day, that's better. You're actually making a step in the right direction, even though you may have planned, I'm going to get up at 5 in the morning and work out 5 days a week, and you didn't accomplish that. As long as you're making the steps in the right direction, this is the time to sit down, reassess, and look for your wins, and then accentuate the positive. Accentuate those wins and kind of build off of those. And the way to do that is make sure you have something that is measurable. Number 3, and it kind of goes hand in hand with what I just said, but let's say you feel like you've been a complete failure. Let's say that I was going to take up swimming, and that was why I was going to lose weight, and actually I've gained weight and I haven't even found a pool to swim in. Okay, we need to stop. We need to reset. January 1 is not a magical day. Though we treat it that way, and I understand that. It's a fresh start, it's a clean slate, and that's where everybody uses January 1. But it's no more magical than January 25th. It really isn't. So there's nothing to say that you can't reset at any time. So again, beating yourself up, there's no money in that. It doesn't help you. We're not trying to reinforce the negative. So if you need to do just take your plan, throw it aside, start over, not a problem. Complete reset, a partial reset. Look, I thought that 9 o'clock Monday, Wednesday, and Friday was going to work. Obviously, it looks like that I'm more of an afternoon person. Okay, total reset. We're going to do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Reset your goal as far as, I thought it was a strength goal that was going to get me there, or I thought this modality, running, strength training, Pilates, whatever, was going to get me there. I'm not making it. I don't like it, whatever. Fine. No problem resetting. Mark it on a calendar. January 30th, February 1st is now your New Year's resolution day. Fine, start then. I promise you, if you will feel much better, you'll feel much better about doing that reset. Therefore, being successful, wherever you end up resetting on the calendar, 3 months later, you'll feel much better about doing that reset than you will about being mad at yourself and punishing yourself and completely throwing your plan out the window until January 1 of next year. I guarantee you'll feel far better about it. Make sure you do those resets as you need. number 4 is always start where you are. Now, I've spoken about this before, but what I mean by start where you are is it goes back to that being negative and beating yourself up about the fact that, well, I should have lost 10 pounds by now and I've gained 5 pounds. Fine. Start where you are. Don't do okay, now I've got to get caught up. I should have lost 10 pounds by now, so I've got to double my efforts to try to get caught back up where I should be. No. Start where you are. It's a 5-pound gain, or you've only gone up on your bench press by 2 pounds and you should have gone up by 20 pounds by now. Fine. Start at the 2 pounds. Let's restart. Let's reassess. Let's set up a plan to be successful, not a plan to, hey, this is the way I'm going to beat myself up. And number 5, I argue, is the most important, and that is having accountability. You got to measure what matters. I said that on number 2, but having accountability. I've said this many times that and I've run the resume of Personal Edge Fitness several times and being the top personal training facility in the Southeast with the most qualified staff. But the number one thing that we sell, accountability. I mean, we've got booked sessions for our clients. They're going to come here and they're going to place their fitness program in our hands. And at the end of the day, no matter who they work with, no matter what they end up doing, they're going to have a good workout. But they have to turn themselves in. They have to actually report for the session. So there's accountability for it. Make sure that you're accountable to someone. And I say something, but that's not quite as powerful as someone. So if you're not accountable to a trainer, you're not accountable to one of my professional staff members, fine. Make yourself accountable to a family member, to a good friend. Hey, these are my goals. These are the battles that I want. These are the steps that I want to take. This is where I need to be week after week after week. I need you to help me be there. A workout buddy. Fantastic way of accountability. We have a lot of people that do 2-on-1 sessions because they're more accountable if they're with a friend working out. And also it makes it more fun. If it's more fun, it's just like I say about setting up a workout program. If there's an exercise you just absolutely hate, why do it? Make it more fun. Make it something you enjoy. And a lot of times adding that other person will make you not only more accountable, but will make your goals, your workout, your fitness far more fun. Here at Personalized Fitness, we want you to be successful, whether you're working with us or not, on your New Year's resolution. So it's a great time. It's a fantastic time to make a change. And we love seeing it 2 and 3 months later where people just generally, whether they've hit their magic goal or not, they are so happy. They feel so much better about themselves. If you feel better about yourself, you're going to be far more successful. Now, lastly, when I throw this one in, it's not like number 6, but creating a win. I have a client right now. He's doing some rehab work with us, but he's also involved in our In It to Lose It program. And he said something to me years ago, which I loved. He said, Garrett, what I need more than anything right now, I just need a win. Business is okay. It's not doing that fantastic. My family's this, that, and the other. I need a win. I need a win. And I love that because what he was saying was that with a win, I feel better about being myself, which is our mission statement. We seek to make people feel better about being themselves. So if you need a win, I'll give you one. And of course, I can't do a podcast without mentioning water, but here is a win. Here's a win that you can have tomorrow. And that is set that water goal. Water, 40% of the reason why we overeat is lack of water. Set that water goal. You want to increase your energy level? Set that water goal. You want to make a difference in the way you look, where you feel, where you think? Set that water goal. So tomorrow, no matter where you are today, tomorrow, get a baseline of how much water you've had to drink and see if you can maintain that baseline at least that much, if not more, for the next 7 days. At the end of 7 days, you're going to add a bottle to that baseline. So whether that baseline is 20 or 30 ounces, you'll have a win. By first thing, you'll have a win because you'll have a baseline. You've done something. You've made a difference in your health and fitness. And then it gives you a day-by-day win that you can have and keep going on that until you hit 100 ounces. You have more questions about that? Trust me, call me about that. Be more than glad to talk to you about your water intake or anything dealing with your New Year's resolutions. Again, contact us at area code 251-278-3343. That's 251-278-EDGE. You can also reach out to me at Garrett, Garrett, at personaledgefitness.com. That's our website and our Facebook page. Hit me up on @Team PE on Twitter if you want to get in touch with us that way. If you don't want to talk to me, you have a question dealing with health, fitness, or wellness, leave it for the Ask Katie section. Contact her at Katie, Katie, at personaledgefitness.com. Don't give up on your New Year's resolutions. Make that change that you want to make. Reassess. Go through this 5-step program. Make sure you're on track with your goals. Make sure you're making the best of your New Year's plans. Make sure that you're making yourself feel better about being yourself, which is the mission here at Personal Edge Fitness, because that, more than anything, helps you reach your level of wellness. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Personal Edge Fitness Podcast with Garrett Williamson. Subscribe now and be a part of the show by calling 251-278-3343. 888-278-EDGE or message us on Facebook and Instagram at Personal Edge Fitness or at Team PE on Twitter, and visit us at personaledgefitness.com.